Should Roman Catholics obey the Pope even if he was Satan himself? Most people listening to this video will naturally say, absolutely not, that does not make any sense. But according to Catherine of Siena, a Roman Catholic saint and a doctor of their church, says that yes, you indeed should. Now, Catherine of Siena isn't just any saint, and this is not just any Roman Catholic saint. She's not a saint according to the Orthodox Church, of which I'm a part of, but she's a doctor of the church, and part of the reason why she's considered as a doctor is due to her ecclesiological writings. She lived in a very tumultuous time for the Roman Catholic Church, where there was the Avignon papacy, and 2 years before her death, the Western Schism started. So it's already a terrible time for the Roman Catholic Church, and she still says that even if the Pope was Satan himself, you should obey the Pope. We ought not to raise up our heads against him, she says, but calmly lie down to rest on his bosom. He who rebels against our Father is condemned to death, for that which we do to him we do to Christ. We honor Christ if we honor the Pope. We dishonor Christ if we dishonor the Pope. I know very well that many defend themselves by boasting, and especially those who are in opposition to Pope Francis, that are part of the SSPX. You should listen to this part. She's talking about you here. She says that they are so corrupt and work all manner of evil. She is caricaturing you. And then she says, but God has commanded that, even if the priests, the pastors, and Christ on earth are incarnate devils, we be obedient and subject to them, not for their sakes, but for the sake of God and out of obedience to Him. Now, I want to kind of give a very small commentary on this. From what I understand, what I think she is saying, I think her point is essentially that whatever leaders we get in our church, whatever kind of a pope we get in our church, is ordained by God. So we shouldn't really attack that, because in a sense we are attacking God's ordination. That's the kind of interpretation I'm having. So I think she's making the same kind of argument St. Paul made in Romans in a different way. I still heavily disagree, because according to the Second Council in the 9th century, this is a council that was in the East. In the 15th canon, it states that we can excommunicate us and separate ourselves from heretical bishops even before a synodical condemnation or decision. So that attitude and this attitude that is present here are completely two distinct attitudes. And we need to remember that the person presiding over that council was Saint Photius, and he most definitely wasn't a papist, both in an ecclesiological sense and in a theological sense. But I think it's very funny that a lot of Roman Catholics act all tough and high and mighty when they quote, do the typical papal quote mines, Rome spoke and the matter is finished, and all those typical quotes that they constantly post. But yet they refuse. They absolutely refuse to act on those quotes. They absolutely refuse to act on their own doctrine. They are in opposition to the current pope they have. And they call Pope Francis the devil and whatnot. Well, guess what? Catherine of Siena says you should obey Francis even if he was the devil. It doesn't matter if he's the devil or not. If Pope Francis wants to restrict and get rid of the TLM, you should be in obedience to that. Okay? If tomorrow Pope Francis makes another letter, says, yeah, TLM is gone, just gone, straight up, it's completely banned from the church, right? You should be in obedience to that. And if you don't want to deal with that, if you don't want to deal with this stupid, mindless ecclesiologist, this stupid pope, this anti-patristic ecclesiology, guess what? You can be part of the Orthodox Church, the church that Jesus Christ built himself, the first millennium church, and not the church of innovations, not the church that tells you to obey Satan if he somehow became the pope. You can just become Orthodox. That's my solution to you. And I want to finalize this by saying again, Roman Catholics, I saw through their tricks 4 or 5 days ago when I made my video talking about the observations in regards to the TLM restrictions. I pointed that a lot of Roman Catholic apologists will just make stuff up and they will attack Orthodox Christians. And guess what? They are doing exactly that. They're doing exactly that. Don't fall to their tricks. This is just, they do this every single time because they don't want you to focus on the deteriorating structure of the Roman Catholic Church, right? So don't listen to stupid arguments like, oh, Roman Catholicism is true because we have the worst ecclesiological management, right? That's not a good argument. Arguments like that are not good. Arguments, analyzing some person's arguments through 15-minute or like very short Wikipedia statements is not an argument. These are not arguments. These are just illustrations of your own stupidity. So if you don't want that, as I said before, become Orthodox. It's a very easy, simple solution. I'm not saying that we don't have any problems. We have problems in our church too. You're going to notice that, I think, especially after you become baptized, you might notice some issues here and there. But compared to Roman Catholic, compared to any other church, really, it's apples and oranges. So that's what I want to finalize my video with. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next video. God be with you. Again, thank you for watching.